Hey guys, so today we're gonna read Dick Stacy's interview. If there's a really good interview I wanted to read out on meta and everything, so let's get into it. Ollie, Dick Stacy, tourney was the enigmatic face of Australia's most beloved Counter-Strike rosters, Greyhound Gaming. So Greyhound Gaming was like a tier 2, tier 3 team. Like many others, he's taken the plunge into Valorant and has cemented himself as one of the best in the region after taking the Order Oceanic Valorant Open. So the title is Oceania's first king of Valorant. Dick Stacy is loved in Oceania. The name turns heads regardless, but he's got extroverted personality to back it up. He's bold without being brash and doesn't take himself too seriously. I like these guys in the pro scene actually. However, these values were arguably the key to the Counter-Strike's success. After getting his competitive start in 2017 in Darksided, the Big Rig quickly asserted himself as one of the region's best entry fraggers on Greyhound, so he was actually doing pretty good. Across his 3 years in Valve's FPS CSGO, he won numerous regional titles, made it to the big name events like EM Sydney and DreamHack Masters, and is one of the only handful of Aussies to make it to a major. They're actually pretty strong right now. Now he's taking his talents to Valorant, joining forces with some of Australia's most talented Counter-Strike players on team launch. Dick Stacy managed to nab another crown for himself as Oceania's first Ignition Series champion during the Order Oceanic Valorant Open. Definitely feels good because we definitely put a big of hard work and a few theory sessions in the weeks coming to the Order of Oceanian Valorant Open, he told Exerto. Over the 4-week span we didn't drop a map, so it's a very good feeling knowing that our hard work has paid off. They didn't even drop a single map. That's how strong they are. From 373 teams all down to 1. That's how strong they are. Holy shit. Just let that sink in for a second. 373 teams were fighting for this. Draw without dropping a single map. Sava's place in the current meta. Dick Stacy plays a flex on team launch. He plays a mixture of Breach and Sava. I'm also playing Breach, manipulating a style of play akin to what was being developed in Europe. While the former is more of a niche for teams right now, he took it with the same poise he showed on his entry to Counter-Strike. The same goes for Sava, who Tyranny used in the finals against ExoClan exquisitely to take home the title. He spoke candidly about the Russians' power, despite it being a big shift from the roles he used to play in Counter-Strike. Because, Counter-Strike and Valorant are actually a big difference. People are saying, oh, it's the same fucking thing. No, it's not. I think Sava is one of the best characters in the game. I only really play Sava when we play on Aston because you need him to get the information because the rotations are so long, so your recon darts have a lot of value compared to like a duelist character. I like how safe he is in the way you use him. You can always get information before and calculate the best fights to take in the best position to hold yourself in. It's a bit different to CSGO when I was a running gunner. So here's a 1 versus 2 clutch.
It's huge, and we do see the teleport on the back side as well. That's going to be all the information in the world. Iron needs to hold here.
Doesn't want a full screen.
Tiny space there in the cage. Tuxie slots that one straight through. Plix needs to survive. He's got all the utility in the world, but he can't win the fight, so he has no time. Thinking the time, there's 10 seconds.
So it's a 1v2 right now, right?
Needs to try to make his way over to site, but it looks like it could be all she wrote. Shot start, maybe hope. All up to Dick Stacy, but the spike is down. The second one secures it. It's all up to Dick Stacy. 1v2. Can he get this one done? Finds the first. Has the Hunter's Fury. Just gonna save it. Looks to bait him off the spike.
Oh damn, that was a clean shot. So you can see he's actually pretty good. Adapting to Valorant from CSGO, the abilities in Valorant might be a stark in contrast to what Dick Stacy was used in CSGO, however the fundamentals of the game have ensured an easier transition to Riot style compared to others coming from Overwatch, Fortnite and more. I think mindset wise and rotation wise it's very similar to CSGO, obviously 5 versus 5 to bomb sites except Heaven and Aston we really forgot. I don't, never mind. But overall, mechanically, aim-wise, it's very similar to CSGO. The transition is probably the easiest out of all esports. There's a lot of Overwatch pros and Fortnite players who have come across, and I think their transition is much harder. Of course, Overwatch and Fortnite are completely different games. It's not like it's a completely different game. It's not like a transition-wise. Abilities-wise, I think it's pretty easy to pick up. At the start, we struggled because we just wanted to take aim duels, but once we learned that the abilities were overpowered, we talked about how we get the most value out of it and mold quite nicely into our already gifted gaming. While abilities could be seen as the biggest learning curve for Dick Stacy and the rest of the team launch, they are confident in their own abilities to theory craft not just what works, but what works for them. Other teams in Oceania might have followed the steed of, you know, American Valorant meta with a heavy focus on duelists, but Launch believe that outside of the box view of the game has been giving the tools to succeed over their position. What we do in Counter-Strike is just what the Americans and Europeans are going to try and mend that in our gameplay. Tourney reflected, I want to have an outside of the box view and take the both worlds and try to experiment with it in our own regard, because there's just many different to play this game. The Americans are quite frag heavy. They want to take a lot of fights, their aim is nuts, but I feel our team has a better view of the game like the American scene. So Team Launch is really some, you know, teams that don't go for aim fights but actually use their abilities. That's why Dick Stacy has admiration for Europe's kings of Valorant, G2 Esports. So G2 Esports is so damn strong right now. The multinational squad has dominated every single event they entered with a read of the game better than anyone else out there. Like, G2 is actually insane right now. It's actually pretty nuts. And how they use their utility and abilities as a team in certain defense setups like they run with Cypher, it's just nice how their playoff information, how they do certain traps to make a gamble sack. It's a very basic example, but how they play information is just fascinating for me. So here he gets a 3K. And here's another clip, you know, showing that. This is actually crazy flash. Look, he goes back, he flashes again. He sees he's flashed, but he doesn't repeat. He gets that easy kill because it's a smoke off. And that's so damn easy. He gets a 3K like that. These are pro games, by the way. While the game is new, Team Launch has one leg on every other team in Australia. Experience between the 5 of them, there's over 30 years of competitive experience at the top level. However, their experience doesn't really factor into the gameplay of Valorant. Tyranny admitted. After all, they just love the game. I think we are just a step up in the way we think about the game. I don't really think that it comes from experience, but really the way you think about the game as a team, and you need to be all on the same page. I don't really feel pressure anymore, like at all, when it comes to gaming. You've got only a limited time window to play it, and you've got to be loving doing it. So just like you like doing videos, you have to, you know, really love playing the game for hours and hours on that, which I can't do at all. Why don't I just try and play my best? I know it sounds very cliche and it's not really helpful, but at the start of my CS career, I felt pressure because I wanted to prove myself because of my achievements and how much I love the game. I don't really feel it anymore because I just want to perform my best. Alright, so let's talk about Valorant agents in Pro Meta. Moving on to the characters in Pro Meta, Dick Stacy had a few choice for awards for one agent in particular. Okay, so there's a character called Raze in Valorant, which I love. I love Raze. Has a rocket that one kills everything and you can't actually kill her. When we actually does it because she propels backwards and you can't even see her because the rocket is obscuring your vision. That has to go. I don't know, like, Raze can still be killed while having ult, but her ult is OP. I could agree with that. The jury is out here for Tourney. Her kit has potential to be overpowered, but it's all about numbers. Feel like we need to be specific on details on how her abilities are used, because I feel like she's gonna be really overpowered or kind of useless. I think she's gonna be somewhere in the middle, going to useless, in my honest opinion. As an example, her turret spawns and shoots an enemy, but if Riot makes it so you can walk a certain distance away from the turret, this spawns itself, I think that it's completely the way to go. Nah, like, her turret does absolutely no freaking damage. Like, it does like zero, nada. It's like bubblegum. However, if it's like a cyber trap, maybe we can just leave it there and walk to the other side map, and still there you have the information from it. Yeah, that will be cooked. That will be OP. I'm definitely excited to see her actually just like 2 days. Is Valorant the Counter-Strike killer? Okay, this is a good topic. Valorant is growing in popularity in Oceania, with almost 400 teams signing up for the first Ignition Series event. 400 teams. That's a lot of players. Naturally, this does apply to some tension on Counter-Strike in the region. Once upon a time, everyone packed in Kuwaito's Bank Arena to chant "Give us a major." However, competitors are flocking away from the Valve title at an alarming rate. But, you know, something pretty strong that CSGO has is Chinese players. You can't really, you know, argue with that, which is concern according to Dick Stacy. Valorant doesn't help CSGO grow. A lot of tier 2 players have come to Valorant because they want to try something new, something refreshing. I think that's part of Valve not having too much of an impact in our region, also just our region not having the infrastructure to progress unless you're number 1. You're not really getting that experience, you're not really getting that opportunity. Being number 1 though, it's exactly what Dick Stacy is used to. He was a top in Counter-Strike and now he's a top in the Valorant. He plans on keeping it that way and hopefully proving to not only Oceania but the world that he and her team launch. So on Oceania they're pretty damn strong. Being the top dog at the moment, having these teams chase us is awesome because they're obviously watching the way we play, not necessarily counter-strating, but copying us and seeing if they can run it better than we do. It's obviously us to adapt and stay a level ahead, which I think we're very capable of. So, personally, I think it's gonna do pretty well. I hope you enjoyed this interview. And, you know, be sure to check out my reviews. This Fatman, sign out. Peace, guys.